The arena Manawatu in Palmerston North is Georgia's home for their final two pool matches. They face Romania today and Argentina here on Sunday. And that match will have a big impact on the final standings in Pool B. Well, it is all about England, Argentina and Scotland. So Georgia and Romania unlikely to get that third place and automatic qualification place for 2015. But pride is a big deal in this pool. That is absolutely... Well, there they are warming up. There are some big boys in there, guys. And, you know, we know it's going to be forward dominated. There's no doubt about that. And you can see why. They're just huge, aren't they?
Look at them, yeah.
Yeah, I think we said at the start of this pool, I think the whole pool really, like I've said, there's not much rugby in the pool. It's very much a defensive combat pool where kind of, you know, the big guys will win, and there's no two bigger teams in this pool really than these two teams. And I think it's going to be a really interesting clash. I think that, you know, we shouldn't write both teams off. I think that, you know, both teams will come out and try and play rugby and hopefully show a good spectacle there.
If Romania lose today, it'll be the first time they've lost 5 successive Rugby World Cup matches ever. That kind of thing really fires up a team, doesn't it? Because you change your goals as you go on through a tournament, I'd imagine, Tom.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure Marius Tinku will be getting the boys fired up and be telling them, you know, that Gontiniat, the coach, he's been really passionate throughout this tournament. You can see, obviously, when it cuts to, you know, him in the studio and how determined he is to get a victory. So I've no doubt he would have got the guys, you know, in the best mindset for this match, and it's going to be a really physical encounter.
Slightly cloudy there, no rain, thankfully, because then it would have got really, really messy. But is there any chance of us seeing the ball going wide here at all, Gareth, or is it just going to be a punch-up?
I'd say, you know, I wouldn't put my house on it, but I think that they'll play to their strengths, and their strengths are their forwards, their strengths are this, you know, their scrum, the line-outs, and you know, it's going to be like we've said before, kind of this local derby clash where, you know, they just going to want to get one or the other. I think that, you know, actually when you look at it as well, really, it could be kind of like the World Cup final when sometimes, you know, you expect so much, but you get a little, you just get hardcore rugby, and I think that this is what this will be.
The gap between games is very, very difficult for them, though, isn't it? You just having 3 or 4 days rest is just really tricky, isn't it?
It's ridiculous. I think it's, you know, it's. For a team like Romania to have a 3-day rest break after a game like England is just it's not enough. It's just not enough to you know, Tom. Yes. I know it's not enough for your body to recover.
Exactly, and I feel for Romania having only had the 4-day turnover, whereas obviously Georgia have had a 10-day turnover. So you know, they'll be a lot sharper, and it's really tough to come around from a 4-day turnover.
Okay, well, they're being called to the field, so let's cross to our commentator for this one. It is Georgia against Romania, and our man in the commentary box is Bob Simmons.
Thanks very much, Craig. This very much the Black Sea derby, if you like, though the capitals, Bucharest and Tbilisi, are almost 1,000 miles apart as the crow flies. Georgia and Romania, great rivals over recent years, ever since they met for the first time in Dublin, of all places, back in 1998, in a triangular qualifying tournament, also featuring the hosts. So, Georgia made 3 changes to the lineup which started against England. David Zirakashvili, Lashak Klavaladze and Georgi Jakaidze move up from the bench. Reves Gilkari moves from fullback to wing. This is their most experienced available lineup, as we've heard 551 test caps between them, the most Georgia have ever fielded in the Rugby World Cup. Romania captain Marius Tinku returns to win his 50th cap for the Oaks. They reunite 14 of the players that lined up against Scotland in their first game. Florin Siguriu continues at scrum half for the injured Lucien Sirbu. 10 changes then from the side, beaten by England. On the benches, Georgia introduced 2 new players in prop Vasily Kakovin and back Irakli Chkavadze. For Romania, fullback Florin Vlaicu, also poised to win his 50th cap after starting the game against England. The locals playing their part in building up a great atmosphere. The Bucketheads are the Manawatu supporters, and they've been asked to wear red and yellow. The yellows for Romania, the Palmerston North city dwellers, while the rural types have been asked to wear Georgian red, although Georgia will play in white tonight. Now then for the anthems. Georgia, freedom. in turn awaken the Romania. So join us for the Black Sea World Cup final right after the break.
Rugby World Cup 2011 coverage sponsored by IBM.
Experience the music with Beats Audio, quad speakers and HD display on the new HP Pavilion DV6 notebook range equipped with the visibly smart Intel Core processors. Available in store now.
Cleaner Close, episode 35.
So, it is true.
The kipper on you, love. Can you blame him?
Well, I have washed your last load, Jimmy.
Hang on. What's this?
This is new Daz, Violet Blossom Blast. Shame you're gonna miss out.
Pat, maybe I've made a mistake.
Maybe I have too.
Daz, the soap you can believe in.
Rugby World Cup 2011 coverage sponsored by IBM.
Almost ready to go then. Big kick-off in this game between Georgia and Romania. Georgia, to remind you, in the white. Their supporters, amongst the bucketheads of Panama 2, will be wearing red hats though. And then in turn, Romania wearing blue, but their supporters wearing yellow, if you're still with me. Our match referee today, Dave Pearson from the Rugby Football Union. And Dave's supported by Romain Poit from France and Vinnie Munro from New Zealand. So it's Georgia then who get this game underway. Romania still overall in ahead of matches in the head-to-head between the two countries. 14 matches played, 8 wins to Romania, 6 to Georgia. And while Georgia, of course, have progressed so much, so Romania has gone backwards, unfortunately, in recent years. At first meeting in Dublin, Romania won by 27 points to 23, and then they and Ireland obviously qualified for the 99 event, and Georgia then failed to make it after falling to Tonga in a repechage. First liner to the game then, and the ball goes into Cristian Petre, Romania's most capped player, wearing 5, and has figured prominently in matches between these two countries over the years. Dimofte with the kick forward. Oh, and the Georgians allowing the ball to bounce. That's always a crazy decision, isn't it, in this game of rugby? Game played with a strange-shaped ball, and that's why it's much better to catch the ball if you possibly can. So the early advantages going to Romania, coached by Romeo Gontinak, their most famous international player, their most capped player. And Steve McDowell, New Zealander, who supports him in the coaching lineup down here. Abdallah will return to New Zealand after this World Cup. Those are the 16 people who, as ever, will decide the outcome of this game. Florin Surgiu waits to feed the scrum at scrum half for Romania. Karpo, number 8, a try scorer against Scotland. Nice patterns. Dimitrash up from fullback, one of the most famous names in Romanian rugby. His dad, before him, an international rugby player. But the error that time results in a scrum to Georgia. And the Georgians love scrimmaging just for fun, I can tell you. Front row, Chinjakishvili, Brgvadze, Zirakashvili, the two props with a lot of experience in French rugby. Loose head, Chinjakishvili, in his 5th season with Brive, while Zirakashvili on the tight head side. Over here is the loose head Chinjakishvili, plays for Brive. The other side, Zirakashvili, plays for Clermont in his 8th season. Goes ball into the scrum on the Georgian side. Abu Saredze, their captain. Very experienced player. And a great day for Marius Tinku, the Romanian captain. Another man who plays all his big rugby in France, a Perpignan man. Romania pretty pleased with that.
Let's go, captain.
So, here we go again then. And on the Romanian side, Lazar is a try scorer, also against Scotland, of course, wearing 1. And then Paulika Jon on this side from London Irish. No mean scrummages either. Oh, this is a terrific effort by Romania, and they get the penalty as well. Georgia pulling the scrum down now then. Wow. That's very much against the odds. The Georgians going back at a rate of knots in that scrum. And forced to collapse it, says Dave Pearson, conceding the penalty. So here's a chance then for Romania to get a very early lead. And they'll really love this, won't they? Looked pretty solid to begin with, and then Romania just nudged it forward and down it went, says Dave Pearson. So the first shot at goal will be for Ionut Dimufte. I'm sorry, Dandu Bravo, of course, has taken over from Dimufte in the team, beg your pardon. Dimufte moved out into the centre for this game. 363 points in his international career. Dandu Bravo. And that's a poor miss, really. Should have done better that time. But psychologically, this is a really good start for the Romanians. Foot, Merab Kvirikashvili, very much the general for this Georgian side, wants to keep them going forward. Oh, and that's a mistake though, find that man himself, but the ball's gone backwards, saved it, says Dave Pearson. Kick down the tram lines. Oh, that's an interesting little one. What a start this is by Romania. Ciuntu, Stefan Ciuntu, wears 14 on the right wing. Chasing the kick forward there. So, Georgia as yet then not really into this game, having to defend in these early stages.